Hello, everyone. Welcome to Christopher's Entertainment Blog. I am your host, Chris. Welcome to my season 1 of Marvel's Daredevil season review. So, guys, it's finally here, Daredevil. A lot of people's been waiting for this show for a while, including myself. And I was anticipating it big time. And I watched all 13 episodes in a span of like 2 days. So I didn't binge it in one sitting. So I like watched maybe 5, 6, or 7 or whatever, and then I watched the rest the next day. Okay. At first I was like, I don't know. The first 3 episodes, personally, I thought I didn't care for very much. But then it came down to the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. And then there was like one towards the end I didn't care for. But the final episode was awesome. So there was more episodes I loved than I didn't like. But overall, I thought the season was great. I thought it was really, really awesome. And everything about it was, I mean, there were, the Charlie Cox, who plays Matt Murdock, was awesome. He plays Daredevil. I thought he was excellent. Excellent. And then you get some of the supporting cast, like Karen Page character and Foggy, which those guys were great. But I think the one who stole the show for me was Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin character. The actor's name is Vincent D'Onofrio. I'm butchering that, I know that. But he was awesome. I loved him as the Wilson Fisk. I mean, it was a character that felt that he was right. He felt that everything he's doing was good, that was right. And those are like the scary characters, that he really feels that he's doing the right thing, that he is in the right. And we even seen he has like a love interest in this season, which I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting at all. And it comes into question of her. I can forget the character's name already. But it comes into question of her character because, I mean, she's like going along with this guy, and okay. But Vanessa, that's what it was. Vanessa. And you really kind of feel sympathy for him. I mean, I did. I was like, okay. I mean, it seems like in a certain way, I mean, he seems like a generally good guy. But then there's like this whole other side, which is like completely just like no. I mean, he has like this like rage, like explosive like rage disorder or something. Because I mean, what he does to that one, the one Russian guy or whatever. I mean, like takes his head off of the door. It was like completely brutal, and he didn't stop. He just kept doing it until it just like there was nothing. Completely brutal. And. Just the overall amazing job with that character. I thought he played it excellent, just awesome. And the brutality, I mean, that he brings, and then taking out all these other like factions to become Kingpin, that he takes out. He takes out the Russians. He takes out, I forget their names. I mean, because I didn't catch their names. But he takes everybody out. He takes out the Japanese guy, and then the other guy that was like financing or whatever. He takes him out. Well, they tried to take him out. They tried to take out the Vanessa woman, and he didn't like that, so he takes him out. It's just like the only one that survived was the elderly Chinese lady, who got out of town. She got out of town in a hurry. She's like, I'm out. And that was smart. So maybe we'll see her maybe next season. I mean, who knows? So he takes out everybody, and you see at the end, it's just like, oh, well, they got him. Well, no, I mean, he's got like everyone on the payroll. He's got cops. He's got politicians. He's got the news reporters. He's just, he's got all these people in his pocket. So he's a scary character. It's just like the whole entire time I was like, how do you take somebody down like that? I mean, you really felt for like the Karen Page character that's going through all this like, this harassment from these people, and it's just like, how do you take somebody down that way? I mean, you really felt the weight of that, So he was awesome, very slimy character too. And the guy that was with him, I forget his name as well. I know I should have more of their names. But he was like the main confidant guy to the Kingpin character. But anyway, he was awesome. He was awesome as well. Very slimy, character. You know. It's just, you know, I don't have his name. It's just like, oh man. I don't think it was Leland, was it? Oh, that was another guy. Leland. But anyway, they were awesome. They all were great. I wish I had his name here though. But the actor that was the other news reporter guy, that his name was Ben. He was also very good. It really was down and dirty, and it was just like, man, this place is depressing. I mean, that's the way I felt. It was like, man, I'm getting out of town. The whole entire time watching the whole entire season was just like, man, this place, I would leave immediately. But yeah, I mean, the whole season was great, guys. I really enjoyed it for the most part. There was a few things that was kind of like, okay, like when somebody has like an automatic weapon and then they're like shooting around him, you know, it's just like, come on, you know, not very realistic there. But you know, it didn't take me out too much. But for the most part, you know, it didn't really bother me. Although I did catch some few things here and there. Overall, you know, I'd probably give this whole season like an 8.5 or something out of 10 if I had to. Just a few minor things here and there. That really was just nitpicking things anyway. But you know, the fight scene that he had, like, you know, with the trying to save the girl in that one episode, I forget which one it was awesome. I mean, you really feel the weight that this character is human, and he takes every punch. You know, and you feel that weight of the fight. You know, that he's like struggling. I mean, there were many times where he was down and just the blood just coming out of his mouth, just like, oh man, this guy's busted up big time. And then when he fights the ninja guy, he takes some really bad slashes, and he's just not like down and out for like a day and then back up. I mean, he's down for a while. Takes him some time to heal, and you know, and then in another episode or whatever, he's still got the scars. He takes punches to the face. I mean, he's swollen or cut or whatever, or he's bleeding still from that wound that he's had, you know, episodes ago or whatever. You know, it really played along each episode. It was great, you know, and it was just, you know, it was great. And, you know, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for season 2. And that's the only other bad thing, is that you watch all these episodes and it's just like, oh my God, I got to wait another year. But I'm really excited to see where they go with the rest of this show. I really am. And then plus we have the next show coming up, which is the Jessica Jones. I'm really excited to see where they go with that. I really am. And then the whole Defenders thing, and this thing being, you know, it is tied into the MCU. Even though they don't really, I mean, some people will argue that, you know, they drop hints, you know, and it's like you can see that it's, you know, in with the MCU. But you know, it is in the MCU, but I really think that a lot of the stuff that they dropped, that, you know, the connections with what's happening in the Marvel Universe with the Avengers and whatever, I think was very, you know, they didn't really touch on it a lot. It was very vague. For me, it was anyway. And it takes a few times to go through an episode or catch things in a background or a picture or whatever with the Hulk's name on it or something about what happened in the Avengers to actually pick up on that. I mean, because at first it was just like, okay, is this thing in the MCU or not? Because they don't really touch on it. I mean, they mentioned Captain America's name, but it felt like he was mentioning the name out of like a joke. That's what it felt like to me. Like, oh, who do you think you are, Captain America or whatever? Like he was like talking about a comic book character that's not really real, not someone that's actually real. It sounds like he was talking about a comic book character, like someone in our, everyday life would say. That's the way I took it at first, and it was just like, wow, these little hints that they drop here and they're there, but they're very subtle and very vague, at least for me anyway. But after you go back and you see like all these different things, like, oh my gosh, they are there, and it is in the MCU, but they're just not really slapping you in the face with it. Like the other show, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I mean, they hit you over the head with Thor. Thor's out here, Captain America, and then, yeah. Which, I mean, it really makes it for that type of general audience to know, like, hey, this is really in the MCU. It's connected. This show here is just like, okay, it's connected, but we're not really going to hit you over the head with it. Because it's kind of like a connected show that's trying to stay separate in a way that maybe through other seasons, maybe they'll hit on it more. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll come up with, more references to the Avengers or whatever eventually. Because, I mean, it was announced. I mean, this is in the MCU, and there is talk that the whole Defenders, all of these characters in the Defenders are going to be in Infinity. I think it's the Avengers Infinity War Part 2, I believe. So that's what's going around. So, maybe eventually once they get to Jessica Jones and the Iron Fist and Luke Cage and all those others, maybe they'll hit on it more and more. But, yeah, guys. Also the suit. I want to touch on the suit real quick. The suit was great. I mean, a lot of people might not. I know I've seen some mixed reviews. I really, write in the comments what you think of the suit. I loved it personally. I was like, oh man, that's awesome. And I really got into it by the end. Like when I saw the suit, I was like, man, I wish you would have had the suit on, a few episodes before that. Even though the episodes were great, I think it would have been more great. More awesome if he would have had the suit on, because I really felt like he was a superhero then, with the whole suit and the mask, and he had the sticks that he had, and yeah, it was awesome. I can't wait for season 2, and then he'll have the suit on the whole season. So yeah, guys, overall I really loved it. It's a really great show. But let me know in the comments below, guys, what you thought of the show. Anything that I may have missed. Please write in there. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, with the Karen Page character was great. Everything that she went through the whole this season was intense. Really was intense. I didn't touch on Rosario Dawson. I thought she was great. You didn't really see a lot of Rosario Dawson, but I think she was great in the show, and she's kind of like the doctor. So, it was cool. But yeah, everyone was awesome. I really liked it overall. But that will do it for me, guys. I am Chris for Christopher's Entertainment Blog. Thanks a lot, guys. Take it easy.